Welcome back to the break room. It's the headlines today, baby, and maybe some rumors. I'm Brandon Barrick. Who cares? Joining me today is Jordan Morris.
I care, Brandon. I care.
Thank you, Jordan. And as we like to say here all the time, we love to say it, folks. The SAG and WGA strikes are still going on. None of this is being done in promotion of any of the properties or otherwise. The studios don't pay us. We're giving our editorial review on things, our journalistic opinion on things, which is totally fine, according to SAG. If they feel otherwise, come talk to me, please.
We actually think all these movies suck. So.
Yeah. We might be a little harsh on some of these things. So the studios definitely did not approve of this. That being said, let's get into it with some headlines, Jordan.
Yes.
Some headlines. We got a new trailer today. I was very excited to see this.
I know.
For Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. Now, if you at home are saying, or you're driving your car, please keep your eyes on the road. If you're saying, what the hell is Monarch Legacy of Monsters? If you don't remember, there's a whole little monsterverse going right now.
It's one of the top verses out there.
One of the top verses. We're not talking Universal Monsterverse. That one died on the vine.
Oh, R.I.P. Dark Universe.
With the mummy. And I guess the Wolfman movie was technically a part of it.
Oh, the Benicio del Toro one, maybe?
Toro
And then there was
did.
Dracula Untold. I think they were trying...
Is Last Voyage of the Demeter trying to get it going again? I don't know. The Dark Universe died because of a poor trailer release that was missing some audio mix.
Sure.
Really killed it. But no, this is the Godzilla Kong franchise, right? Which includes Godzilla, Kong,
of course.
And then all the other ones.
And the rest,
And the rest.
Well, you got Rodan, you got Mothra.
Yes. Ghidorah,
Ghidorah, I believe.
I always say it wrong.
Yeah, that's okay.
Anyways, this is going to be a new series on Apple TV Plus. Is it called Apple TV Plus?
I think it's called
TV?
Apple Plus, maybe? I think
Apple
Apple
Plus?
TV is the unit, and Apple
Okay.
Plus is the service.
I have an Android. I don't give a fuck.
Whoa.
I don't give a fuck.
Check out Johnny Android over here.
What? The most popular phone in the world?
My text bubbles are green. I don't care.
I don't care. I don't care if the photos I send you are low quality.
I download my apps off Google Play.
That's right. That's right.
I love this character, by the way.
Oh, boy.
Johnny Android.
Johnny Android. So this is going to be a Apple Plus series. And the series is going to follow two siblings who find themselves revisiting the past from present day to 1950s San Francisco in the wake of Godzilla and the Titans' destructive battle. The Titans being all the other monsters. Sure.
Remember the Titans?
Remember them?
Remember them?
Don't. Is Kong technically a Titan, or is Kong?
I think it's just what they're saying instead of kaiju.
Oh, okay.
Which I prefer, but
this was
Titans,
capital T Titans.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Kaiju would be better.
Sure.
Because Kong is not abnormal, right? We made Godzilla. That was our fault. That's on us.
Oh, I guess I don't remember that from the movies. If Kong is the result of radiation, or I think they all come.
No, because Kong's been around throughout time. That's why the people,
Sure.
The natives there, they like worship Kong, and there's been generations of Kong. And then Godzilla versus Kong, of course, established the Hollow Earth.
The Hollow Earth.
Scientifically
Love
found.
that. That's the greatest decision in the history of movies.
Completely. Where's the light come from? Don't ask, don't tell.
Nope.
He
can float. Whoa.
He can float. Yeah, if you jump down, you just stop. Gravity stops. I don't know. But down there was like a whole kingdom, and the Kongs built infrastructure. So they've been around. They're normal. They're natural. They're part of God's plan. Godzilla is not.
Wow. I guess we know what side of this you're on.
I'm on God's side.
Okay.
God sent the Kongs to wipe out man.
Sure. Wow.
Because he's sick of us. So this series is
I can't tell if you're pro Kong or anti Kong.
I think I'm on the Kong side.
Okay.
I appreciate the Kongs.
Me too. I like a mammal. You
gotta be team mammal. You gotta be team mammal. I want to get into who should win, but we'll talk about that in a second, okay? So this Monarch series is gonna they're trying to establish that there's like a secret organization that has kind of been, I don't think are they benefiting from I don't know why the secret organization is pro-monster.
Sure. I think
this isn't like the Wayland Corporation where they're using the blood of the xenomorphs to make drugs, right? This is like the Monarch. They probably want to weaponize them.
I bet it's something super soldiers, something energy. That's usually when there's a government organization involved. Usually they're looking for one of those two things.
Yeah.
I don't care too much as long as the monsters are fighting.
Hell yeah, I want the monsters.
I got a wild theory.
Oh, okay.
Wild theory.
Give me your wild theory.
Name of this show. legacy of monsters. Monster could be referring to, Godzilla, King Kong.
Sure.
But also, man.
We're the monster?
I don't know. Crazy. Sometimes
legacy?
man is the monster in the end.
I think man has done one or two things wrong. Otherwise, we've been perfect.
Right? You're a man fan.
Perfect. I'm a man fan. I'm on side man.
Pro man.
Pro man. The script here says that this is the second MonsterVerse TV show, and I'm gobsmacked. What's the first?
There's a Netflix Skull Island show that I have not
was it
watched.
animated?
It is. It's
okay.
Yeah, it's kind of in the same style.
So this is in the same universe, Evan, as that one?
It all is.
We
I
assume?
believe it's all.
Okay. Okay. Cute. Adorable.
Yeah.
And yes, from what we understand, the series, the stuff that's involved in this MonsterVerse, right?
Yes.
It was that Godzilla movie from 2014.
I think so.
He says with a high-pitched voice, which had like Bryan Cranston, Elizabeth Olsen, the Scarlet Witch herself, Aaron Taylor Johnson. They kiss in it, which is very awkward because they're brother and sister. Sure. Very strange. Right. Not in that.
You're confused as to what's in this verse. It sounds like.
Yeah, I'm a little confused. So there was that movie. Then they had Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Right.
That's where Godzilla fought Ghidorah. Well, I said it wrong again, didn't I?
Ghidorah. Yeah, let's call the whole thing off.
But also, like, there were a bunch of them there, right?
Yeah, I think you got Rodan in that one.
They
you got
shoved
Mothra.
in a bunch.
Beautiful wingspan on
beautiful
Mothra, by the way. I don't know if you've seen the wingspan.
Love
on this
the
thing.
Mothra.
Beautiful.
And then we had Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah.
On the Godzilla track.
Great movie. That's been my favorite one. So
yeah,
far.
there was Kong Skull Island, which was a kind of prequel to all of them.
Yeah.
It took place in like the 70s, 60s, 70s, Vietnam.
Yeah.
So those are like the big tent poles.
Yeah, and then you get kind of the post credits tying them all.
Right. And that involved like John Goodman was part of the Monarch Corporation.
Yeah, looks like
he had a little
cameo
in the trailer. We also have like Wyatt Russell Jr. Is Kurt Russell actually Wyatt Russell? Is Wyatt Russell a junior?
What? Hold on. Yeah, I think he is. I thought he was.
Who's senior Wyatt Russell?
Yeah, it could be that Kurt's real name is Wyatt.
Is
because
it really? And he
Kurt's
changed it for Hollywood?
I don't know.
No, I don't know why. This whole time I thought his name was Wyatt Russell
Jr.
I'm going my brain today.
We named the dog Wyatt Russell. So he's in the show. You might know him as U.S. Agent John Walker.
Right.
Johnny Mayonnaise. His dad's also in the show, Kurt Russell. I think he's playing the same character.
I think so, yeah. I think they're playing the same character at different times.
They said de-aging technology? Fuck off, dude. We don't need you. We got the real fucking
Throw
thing.
a kid in there.
Yeah.
It's great. I
love that.
I think they're both.
Like
I'm such a big Kurt Russell fan,
right.
and I think Wyatt Russell's been great too. So that's a
I'm
really
very
fun
excited
decision.
to see what he does in this one. So they're playing the same character in like different eras. So we're gonna jump around in time in this show and kind of see like the beginnings of the Monarch Corporation, what they're up to, what the secrets are. Now all this is taking place while they're still making other Godzilla movies in Japan. They put out a trailer last week for Godzilla
minus one. I don't know how it.
That seems like a restart of like the Toho series, right?
Kind of. So it is a period piece.
Yeah.
It is taking place like World War II era, I think.
It looks like it's like just after World War II, right?
I think so. Do not quote me on any of this,
No,
but,
I won't.
But please don't. But yeah, I think it looks so cool. It's the first one since Shin Godzilla, I believe, which was great, very funny, very weird. It's kind of a procedural about what to do when Godzilla attacks. It's a really funny angle in a Godzilla movie. And I think this is the same creative team, if I'm not mistaken. And if it is, I'm stoked. Great Godzilla design.
Yeah,
too. He looks awesome.
Yeah, he does look awesome, and some classic shots done. Classic shots from like old Godzilla movies done with like modern technology, which is great.
Can't wait.
The feet look great. I love
and it seems like they're, that original Godzilla movie. This is like the coldest movie I take in history, but like, it's more satirical, or it's more, it's kind of a dark, it's kind of a dark comedy about, atomic energy.
Sure. I mean, it was a lot to process.
Yeah, it's a real. It can be the original Godzilla is very sad and mournful at times, and it seems like maybe they're kind of going for that again, which is neat. I'm couldn't be
Well, I
more
think
stoked.
it's smart for them to like kind of restart that whole series.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Let's let's just start over.
And they have a tradition of the Japanese Godzilla movies have a tradition of kind of restarting every couple years. I learned recently that there are eras, which is the way that Godzilla and Taylor Swift are similar. They both love eras.
That's one way that they're similar.
There's many ways.
They both could never keep a relationship intact.
Sure, yeah.
So Godzilla has a kid at some point.
That's true. So I think if you are a fan of the Japanese Godzilla movies, you are kind of used to these things.
Sure, the
resetting
tropes.
every now and then. But yeah, I'm stoked. I'm stoked for both. I think the show looks great, and I think
you can have them both.
Godzilla minus one looks great.
Yeah, we can have them both.
We're rich with Godzilla, and that's a good kind of.
About time. So this new show, we see a few different monsters in the trailer, right? Possibly Destroya?
Ooh, I didn't
There's
see
like
that.
a flying monster we see like real quick.
Love Destroya.
We also see Godzilla, and then Mother Longlegs, or maybe Kumonga. Like someone, there's a weird monster chasing John Goodman.
Okay.
That we kind of see quickly in the trailer. It's hard to tell. They're very quick little snippets.
I'm a King Caesar guy.
Who's King Caesar?
It's a big dog.
Oh,
He has big floppy
adorable.
ears. He's great. I would love it. I would love to see.
Was it
him
a man
full-
in suit, or did they just bring in a dog?
I think it was the 70s, so I think it. Right, they just spray painted a dog.
Yeah.
I think this is a guy in the suit. Era,
Okay.
And it looks real hilarious and
I
fun.
love it. I think this could be a big time. People loved Godzilla vs. Kong, right?
It's awesome.
And that was
I
a
love it
weird
too.
pandemic release.
Yeah.
We're all at home, but it was great. It was fun.
I know.
And it was like these big action set pieces. I love them fighting on the aircraft carriers and that, like in the water, like insane stuff. Now, here's the deal. There's no way Kong could beat Godzilla. Godzilla would destroy Kong. If we're really thinking about it.
I don't know.
Really thinking about it. I think the one thing Kong maybe has is brains, right?
Sure.
He's probably got a bigger brain.
He can
than
use
Godzilla.
tools. We've seen him use tools.
Well, we've seen him find tools.
He has the axe.
He threw
and
sticks
that.
at the. He found
That's
the
a
axe.
tool. A stick is a
He
tool.
found it. He was throwing sticks at the sky
Sure.
to break the sky.
Godzilla can't do that.
No, but Godzilla can unleash radioactive breath.
Sure, you're right.
Can swim underwater for. We don't think he needs to breathe oxygen even. I don't think Godzilla
I
has
don't
to
know.
breathe.
Yeah, you might be right. He is underwater for long periods of time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm as I said before, I'm
You're
team
pro-Kong.
mammal.
You're pro-Kong.
I love, nursing young.
Right.
I love regulating your body temperature internally. I just like mammals,
Yeah.
so I'm team Kong.
Okay.
But I love them both. They're both both my
Kong.
favorites.
Kong does usually have more sympathy for people.
Sure.
He usually attaches onto someone. Usually
Yeah,
a beautiful
right.
blonde
He
woman.
connects with
Yeah.
sure.
Godzilla very rarely connects with people. I feel like because Godzilla's more like
Maybe this says more about you that you're team
yeah,
Godzilla.
because
You have a
Godzilla
hard time
isn't. He
connecting.
doesn't
Let's
hate
get
this-
into it.
He doesn't hate the city so much, right? He's usually going to fight a monster.
Sure.
And there's a city in the way, and he's like, "Well, I'm not going to step around this."
Yeah.
Because to him, we're ants, right?
Sure,
So
we
he's
are
gonna walk right
ants.
through it.
Something I loved about Godzilla vs. Kong that I wish I wish more movies would do is they saved a big surprise. Mechagodzilla is in that movie.
Yes, and it was not in the trailer.
No trailers.
Yeah.
I didn't see it anywhere. I was like, excited about the movie, so I was following all the press, and the fact that they were able to save it is so cool. I wish more movies would do that. I feel like you see so many of the cameos and the twists and trailers these days. So it makes me excited for like what we're not seeing in these trailers because I
Sure.
kind of have faith that they'll save something.
Sure. Like that's a problem the MCU has probably had lately.
Yeah.
Most notably with last year's Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Before the movie came out, they put in Captain Carter in a trailer, Professor X.
Yeah, and
They kind of were, and part of that was to combat like leaks that were coming out,
Right,
and it's
sure.
like, well, we just got to own it now.
Yeah,
We gotta,
yeah.
sell the movie. But I agree, like anything from beyond the end of the first act should not be in a trailer.
couldn't agree more. I understand why they had to involve the Michael Keaton Batman in the market.
Oh,
of the
sure,
Flash.
sure, absolutely.
Imagine if you didn't know he was going
Yeah.
to be in that movie and
Yeah.
he popped up. How excited you would be.
You'd be
But, we've
stoked.
just been seeing a year of trailers and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So,
Absolutely
and I
stoked.
liked him in that movie and I liked lots of things about that movie. But yeah, imagine how cool that
Yeah.
would have been.
Well, hopefully this show will surprise us. It'll
would be
build
nice,
the Kong
yes.
fever, the Godzilla fever, the monster fever. And I think there is another movie in the works too, like
I think
a sequel
so too.
to Godzilla.
Yeah, I
vs.
forget
Kong.
what it is called. It is.
Yeah.
I think. I hope they team up, and we don't have to have this Godzilla v Kong argument for the rest.
It's called The Hills Have Eyes because the hill is actually a monster
Right.
and has eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's called.
I love it.
Got a question, Evan?
Yeah, before we move on to our next segment here, two Godzilla questions really
Okay.
quick. Raymar Music asking, has anyone played Godzilla Destroy All Monsters on the GameCube?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Classic, classic
old
GameCube
school.
release. A classic GameCube release.
I mean, I played a lot of Rampage in my day. For
Oh,
sure.
yeah, sure.
I have a Godzilla ripoff.
Rampage is a blast.
And then Brian Painter is asking, what is your favorite monster movie of all time, Godzilla, Kong, or otherwise?
Oh, okay.
You mean my favorite Man movie because Man is the real monster? I'm gonna keep hitting that really hard. I think it's smart, but it's not.
Pain.
It's
Capitalism was the monster all along.
the Pelican Brief.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Stillwater or whatever.
Sure.
I mean, the first Pacific Rim slaps
First
hard.
I think
Slaps
the
hard.
second Pacific Rim is great.
It's a little wild. It's a little wacky.
It's neat. He fell in love with the monster. Anyway, a lot of good stuff in the second Pacific Rim. This is kind of a boring answer, but I do believe it is my truth. I think the first original King Kong is my favorite.
Oh,
I
like
loved
the
it.
old
Those
school.
stop motion
Yeah.
dinosaurs are so cool. Him breaking the monster,
Sure,
dinosaur's jaw is
sure.
so cool. I don't know. It's just got so much iconic stuff
That's
in
great.
it. I watched it constantly as a kid, and I still love it.
Mine's Honey, I Blew Up the Kids.
Yes.
What a monster.
Right,
Can
yes.
you imagine that thing taking a shit? Oh,
I can't.
yeah.
I'm sure they had jokes about it in that movie.
I'm sure they did.
There's like army guys looking at it through binoculars, and they're like, "What's that?"
We got a dookie.
This is a good thumbnail for this.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there are any other good big monster movies, but that Godzilla 2014 was like really. It was very cool. They don't show a lot of Godzilla.
No, not
It's
a lot of
very
Godzilla
tough.
in that Godzilla. But I mean, I think if you look at the original Japanese Godzilla
it's
movies,
very
they
much
are
that
kind of
style.
similar. He doesn't pop up until
Right.
later, and you kind of just see him in silhouette a lot.
Bits and bobbles.
Um,
Like that movie established a lot of cool shots that they kept doing in modern Godzilla movies. Like I think that was the one where you see him swimming under the battleship, which is very cool. Lots of fun. I think there's even a shot like that in the trailer for this Monarch show. They had a shot up.
Yeah, you can't see them going under the.
Yeah. I love that. I'm trying to think if there's any other good big monster movies. The U.S. didn't do a ton of those. Did you ever see the 70s version of King Kong?
Oh, yes.
Is
Yeah.
it Faye Dunaway or
Yeah,
I forget.
maybe
who
a young Jeff Daniels in there.
Oh yes,
too.
Jeff Daniels is in it. That's a wild one, and like the effects don't hold up too well.
I have
over
not
time,
seen
but
that since I was a kid, but that is one
very
that
bloody.
I loved as a kid,
Yeah.
and then learned later that it has a reputation for being a bad movie.
Yeah.
Like also another example of that is Hook. Like I loved Hook as a kid.
yes,
People were like,
yes.
that's the worst Spielberg. He really shit the bed on that
He
one.
hates that movie.
Does he hate that movie?
He has talked bad about the movie. He sees it as like unfinished, kind of a mess.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
he
my God, I
doesn't
haven't
speak
heard
highly of it. Like that movie's like wild. Mainly because it was supposed to be a musical, and there's
God, I
only
didn't
one
know this.
song
Look at
still
this.
left in it. The little girl who's like singing the song.
Right.
Like that's the only song that's left over from
Sure.
like the full musical it's supposed to be. What a weird movie. that
Anyway,
is.
but yeah,
Anyway.
that 70s King Kong is one that I watched
Yeah.
all of these movies like crazy as a kid, and I'm like, hey, the 70s King Kong, pretty good. People are like, that's a famous bad movie, asshole.
You son of a bitch. Okay, great.
And then last question before
Yeah.
we move on to our next topic. Nabesh Weba asking, if you run out of content to cover with these strikes, support to WGA and SAG, of course, would you consider moving to covering topics in the world of theater where equity and DGA are not on strike yet?
I mean, I would love to. We were just talking about Waitress, the musical. It's
Yes.
going to have a 5-day run in theaters. If you've never seen that, great. I also believe Prince of Egypt, they have adapted it to a musical on the West End. That's going to have like a theatrical run too, I think. And then, of course, there's a lot of great musicals that have been turned into, or they have like video recordings of it they release,
Yeah.
like Come From Away. is
yeah,
one.
there's the Hamilton on Disney Plus.
Hamilton's on Disney Plus, and like all Broadway shows are like recorded, and they for their archives. There's like a Broadway.com or something like that where you can watch a bunch of them, but like a lot of those have been released. Then there's like the weird. I mean, London is doing some weird fucking shit.
What's London up to?
They made a Princess Diana musical that's on Netflix. That is crazy. It's like a rock musical. It's like it's a little weird. It's a little intense. Yeah. Very strange stuff. Back to the Future was turned into a musical that's on Broadway right now. That started in the West End, I believe. We were talking today about all the weird movies that have been turned into musicals. Maybe we'll cover Shrek the musical. Listen, if you want the break room once a week to talk about musicals, let's get it going, guys.
Sure, yeah.
Let's get it going.
If you guys are adamant enough in the comments about anything.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark and that wild story. Which
There's a kind of a wacky Superman musical from the 50s or 60s, I think.
Oh, they were working on a musical version of Batman, which never got finished. This was after Tim Burton's Batman and like the popularity of Batman rised up. And it was kind of based on that movie, and you could find some of the songs that were written for it online. And it's just the composer kind of playing at his piano, singing them. But the Joker one is like, where does he get all these wonderful toys? And it's fucking hilarious.
Okay, let us know in the comments. Do you want us to start singing songs from Rent?
Yes.
We will do it.
How are we going to pay? How are we going to pay?
I'm going to pay. I get a job.
December 24th, 10 p.m. Okay.
500.
Yeah, we could do it all. Let's talk.
Are we getting charged for this?
Let's talk.
Is the company now bankrupt?
Okay. If we're not going to talk about musicals, we got to talk about Ahsoka.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, it's pretty good. I don't know if you've been watching.
I really like Ahsoka.
And there was a big reveal this week. Spoilers in 3, 2, 1. She wound up in the world beyond worlds.
Right.
World between worlds.
World between worlds?
What did I say? World beyond worlds. World between worlds. Sorry. Which was, it's kind of crazy.
It's kind of a, like, heaven, limbo, afterlife.
This kind of parallel universe. Which isn't, if you watched Rebels, if you watched Clone Wars, this is where all that stuff came from. This is a lot of Dave Filoni stuff. But this kind of weird shit has always existed in Star Wars, right? Luke going into the cave on Dagobah and, like, fighting Darth and it being his head inside of Darth's helmet. Like, that kind of weird stuff. Rey being in that weird pit where she sees like all the versions of herself throughout time and all that weird stuff.
Force
like,
ghosts that change based on what version of the movie you're watching.
Exactly. They've done this weird stuff before, but it's looking like it's going to crack open. We're halfway through the series. The next episode is directed by Dave Filoni.
Right. So everyone will be wearing cool cowboy hats.
Everyone's going to be in cowboy hats. Party on. And there will be clone troopers everywhere. No, probably not. But Disney is clearly feeling pretty good about it because episode 5 is going to be screening in theaters.
That's so cool.
They're going to show it in theaters, which I was lucky enough to go to a theater screening of the first 2 episodes.
Great.
Like the night they dropped. And it was great. I mean, that cold open is so good with Balin, like slicing through the ship, right? Seeing it on a big screen, it worked. It looked great. So I think this is like very exciting. I would like to go see this in theaters. And it makes me think some big stuff's going to happen.
It's a gorgeous show, too. It really looks nice.
Yeah, we were talking today. If you've seen the World Between Worlds episode of Rebels, when Ezra's in there, there's these like portals.
Yeah.
You can look into different moments in time.
Sure.
And so if that's where they are, and this next episode in theory takes place in that space, they could go look at different events that have happened.
With all the Indiana Jones Easter eggs, you could maybe look into and see him running from the boulder. Do you think they'll do something like that?
Yeah, Ahsoka will look in and see Indiana Jones and be like, what the hell is this shit? I don't know what this is. We missed out on tickets, Evan.
Yeah, we didn't get tickets.
Heaven, you got to get us these tickets.
I know. We were streaming, I think.
I'm not going to see in theaters, I guess, because Evan has dropped the ball. They're showing it in theaters 1 hour before the episode drops. So stay off of Twitter if you don't want to
just go see Sound of Freedom again.
I guess so. We also know this next episode is going to be 49 minutes long, which is a little longer than the last 2 for sure. But yeah, if they're going to look into these portals, we could see stuff from previous movies.
Yeah.
We could see stuff from animated, like the Clone Wars or Rebels, but in live action.
Might be kind of cool.
Yeah. Like, do you think we'll get to see Freddie Prinze Jr. as Kanan?
I think that would rule. I think
would
that
it be pretty fucking awesome?
It'd be cool.
It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
There was like a photograph on Hera's ship the ghost. You couldn't quite make out who was in it if it was like Freddie Prinze Jr. as like canon. I don't know. I think it would be so cool to see that. And he deserves it. Let the man have it.
He does.
Let him have it. This isn't the first time though that like Disney has done this. When Inhumans, remember Inhumans?
Oh.
When Inhumans came out, the first two episodes were shown in IMAX. They were hot on this baby. Then they bailed quickly. But they've done that. And then when Miss Marvel came out in Pakistan, they put 2 episodes in theaters. There to promote it, which they should have done that here.
They put the whole series in theaters 2 episodes at a time.
Oh, I'm sorry. They put the whole series in theaters in Pakistan 2 episodes at a time. They did show both Secret Invasion and Miss Marvel on ABC over the summer because of the strikes. But yeah, I think they should put more of these things in theaters.
Yeah,
I think it would be great.
I mean, you know, I think we all remember going to see those Marvel movies in theaters with big crowds, and like when those big moments happen, it's so fun to be there with everybody. And yeah, I think that's just kind of something you lose with all these streaming shows, is you kind of miss that communal experience. Obviously, you can talk about it online after, and you know, if you're watching with people, it's fun. But like, I don't know, like when a theater reacts to something. I mean, like this Ahsoka stuff. I mean, I think you're probably onto something that they're doing it in theaters because it's going to have a lot of cameos. It's going to have a lot of Easter eggs, and you kind of want those, you know, big moments where people scream when Freddie Prinze Jr. comes on screen. Because I mean, I think more casual viewers probably don't register all those little Rebels Easter eggs.
I think we'll get Freddie Prinze Jr., but he'll be Fred from Scooby-Doo.
Zoinks. Zoinks Ahsoka. I know Fred doesn't say zoinks.
He could say it.
He could say zoinks. I'm sure at some point he said zoinks.
Probably as like a joke or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like. We've been rewatching Loki. We're doing a Loki rewatch series on the new Rockstars channel, and I would be like, man, this would be great to see in theaters.
Totally.
Like just all strung
Loki's
together.
So much fun. Yeah,
give me the machete cut. Make me sit in the theater for 4 hours watching all of Loki. Tons of fun. I would do it.
Yeah, I know, and it does seem like, you know, with strikes and kind of the general state of Hollywood, it does seem like theaters are doing more revivals. I was looking at tickets today, and I'm like, you could just see The Incredibles in a theater for $5.
The El Capitan in Los Angeles is like a Disney-owned theater, and they're doing a thing where like every Tuesday they're just showing like old Disney movies in there. You can go see it, or like, you know, Taylor Swift coming and taking over theaters is a sign that like they're looking for stuff. Though apparently a lot of the theater owners were pissed about that.
Oh yeah,
because she only did AMC, and they were like, what the fuck? What about my mom and pop shop?
She's probably, you know, she's probably just friends with Nicole Kidman.
Probably. Nicole Kidman owns AMC?
She does, yeah. That's why she does those intros.
She's like, my theaters are failing.
But yeah, I love this idea. And I think if I could, you know, I might even like wait to watch a show and watch it like that in theaters if they did like, after they're all out, a little engagement.
Especially with the sound, like,
I know.
Ahsoka has a great soundtrack. It's incredible.
It sure does,
and like seeing those first 2 episodes with like big screen, full sound, you know, was awesome. And like we have a pretty decent TV at my house, but like not a great sound system. It's like I would watch more of this stuff. It's done so well. I would love to see it in like a big environment. And the crowd was hyped for it. Like,
and you know, I think there's this kind of feeling out there, like people kind of having these lukewarm reactions to some of these streaming shows. And you know, I think part of it is that like, you know, some of them are better than others, but also just like, you know, maybe you're watching on your couch with your phone out. Maybe you have a weird glare on your TV.
Yeah, you press pause and you went to the bathroom.
Sure,
it's hard to get immersed.
Yeah, I know, and yeah, with these properties, it is so much fun to just be in the world. So yeah, maybe it would be fun if there was a way to watch these in theaters more easily.
Take away everyone's television.
Right.
You only can
no
see
more
stuff
TVs.
In yeah. I like it. That's how we save the economy, Biden. Right there.
Yeah. Send in troops to take everyone's TV. That'll get you reelected.
Do the people in the chat have wonderful things to say about you?
There's tons of things. Jordan, if you want to answer this one first, because I'm going to ask Brandon to approve a thumbnail.
Oh, okay.
Ahmed Yassin asking, who do you guys cast as the DCU Batman? My family and I would love to see Jake Gyllenhaal as the Cape Crusader.
Gosh, good boy. You know, I haven't...
We need more Batmans?
Yeah, more Batmans. I wish I had a better answer. Do I not have a good answer for who would make a good Bat? Do you? Do you have one off the dome?
I don't. We have so many Batmans.
I need a
I think
take.
Robert Pattinson's doing a great job.
I feel like I'm shitting the bed at this. I gotta have a hot Batman take.
A hot Batman.
But I do like Pattinson. I think he is doing a good job. It might, be. Let's talk it out. It might be nice to have a more fun counterbalance to Pattinson, because there are many kinds of Batmans, many flavors of Batman.
Sure.
And the thing that they're doing is a Batman and Son thing. It's the Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
So, that's a more fun, funny, light version of Batman in the comics. And, you've got Damian, who is, he's Batman's son. He's going to be Robin in this, and he is kind of, murderous.
He's maybe a little psychopath.
Yeah, maybe even a little bit of a
That's
riff.
Mom. That's Mom.
Yeah, Talia al Ghul. It might be fun to have someone with a little more of a light comedy touch who can kind of do the comedy.
I would like Batfleck to stay around and do Batman Beyond. I want the old broken Batman.
That would rip.
That would be a lot of fun.
Sure.
Maybe Ben Affleck's not old enough to be that Batman.
Yeah.
You can older, more grizzled guy.
Just have him do 2 months of nothing but Duncan.
Get a little paunch going.
Let
the gray come out. Yeah, maybe
pound nothing but Duncan cold brew, and he'll look older.
Get Michael Chiklis to play old Batman, old Bruce Wayne. Now, there's a lot of calls for and this is partially because of Warner Brothers saying they were gonna do a Black Superman story. Right. Is there a Black Batman story? Why aren't there more calls for that?
Oh, sure. I know the comics are doing a thing where it's Lucius Fox's son is Batman in a universe. So, if they're looking for something to adapt, that is one.
That could be fun.
And yeah, you have somebody like a Daveed Diggs or somebody like that. Maybe brings the comedy a little bit more.
Boyega would be a good Batman.
He would be good.
He'd be a great Batman.
He would be a good Batman.
Like a young Bruce Wayne. I guess the problem with Batman.
Yeah.
If you're gonna establish,
are we ready for a British Batman?
a British Batman, or even a Black Batman? Because the story of Batman, right? The Waynes have been around since the Mayflower, right? And it's a little dicey if you're gonna tell the Black American
you have to
story.
alter that history.
You have to alter that
history.
Yeah. That story a little bit. Which the Lucius Fox thing makes sense. Is that a world where Bruce Wayne has died?
I don't.
And, Lucius Fox's son
I'll admit
slips
I am
in?
not caught up on that storyline. If anybody in the comments knows, I would actually love to know.
Yeah.
But it's a cool idea.
Do the commenters have any suggestions for a Batman?
Yeah, people are saying it's hard because the previous Batmans we've gotten, people have either been a good Bruce Wayne or a good Batman.
Sure, that's always the argument.
Both. Someone was joking around saying Nick Offerman.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
He's a good old Batman. Yeah, I like old.
H. Basso saying Aidan Gallagher, who plays Five in Umbrella Academy, was rumored to play Damian for a while.
Oh, I
Maybe
mean
he's
that
a
makes
little
sense,
too
right?
old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Ahmed Yassin also saying Eric Voss as Alfred.
I don't know if this is a boring take or not, but after I walked out of The Flash, I was like, they are setting up Clooney to be Batman in Brave and the Bold.
That's
He's
what I like.
Age.
Yeah.
He has a little bit of a lighter comedy touch, and with that, little scene in the movie was a little more
very funny
comedy. And him having a kid kind of, makes sense age-wise.
I would love a redemption arc for Clooney.
It would be so cool.
He's in a better place now. He would have more control.
He would have more control. Yeah, I think. They've kind of figured out what to do with those movies a little bit better.
Yeah.
Although, I like some parts of Batman and Robin. I'll stick.
I mean, there's stuff to like. There's stuff to hate.
You're right.
It's all over the place. In the last couple of years have rewatched Batman Forever, and it was refreshing.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, where in this world we live in now, where it's comic book movies have to be realistic to our world.
Sure.
It has to make sense, and that's a lot of Nolan's fault. Not fault, but because of the Dark Knight.
Because those were so successful.
Yeah.
Yes, people
I mean,
wanted
the Dark
to do
Knight.
that. Yeah.
Batman Begins and the Dark Knight led to the MCU being well, what if it's in the real world? And
Sure.
we've kind of been stuck in this pattern. It was refreshing to watch something like Batman Forever, where no, the whole world is insane.
Right.
It's a comic book world.
Yeah.
And that way, neon day glow bad guys make sense because
Sure.
look at the chief of police is whoa, jeez, Batman. I lost it again.
I know. I think there are many Batmans that I love, but I think my Batman will always be Adam West. And I loved that show as a kid. I didn't know it was supposed to be a comedy until I turned, 12. I'm like, oh, wait, this is supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
But I do think that flavor is great. And if there was a way to put that into modern movies somehow, like obviously something that can't be play well, but like
they've tried with like The Tick, right? I think The Tick is like a modern like Adam West.
Sure,
Batman.
yeah, it definitely has that flavor, and I don't know that you would do that with a mainstream tentpole Batman movie, but I don't know if there was a way to inject a little bit more of that fun into it. Maybe people would respond to it. I don't know. I don't know.
Give it a shot. What does Warner Brothers have to lose at this point?
Well, billions of dollars.
Well, they've already done that.
Sure. That's true.
Next up, we want to talk about D23.
Oh, yeah.
Destination D23 is happening this weekend. It's different than D23 as it's focused mainly on Walt Disney World. It's taking place at Disney World. They usually do park updates about all the different parks around the world. And they usually do it out here in Anaheim, but they're doing it in Orlando this year. We'd assumed that there wasn't going to be much news around Marvel Studios, and it seems to be that way for now. There's some things on the schedule. It seems like it might be. Here's the schedule right here. This is Saturday's schedule. As you can see, it's like mostly like 100 years of classic characters. Disney celebrating 100 years right now. The studios were started in 1923, obviously, hence D23. Blah 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 blah.
Celebration of Pete, Mickey's enemy.
Pete.
They're really reaching for
the
stuff.
big, yeah. I mean,
I was making up a fake panel.
I don't know. Have you
been
been to a con and checked out most of the events going on at a con?
Do people go crazy for Pete?
Well, no. I just mean at any con, there's like some very niche things going on. But there have been some rumors in the last couple of days that we could see some footage from the MCU
would be nice.
Popping
footage would be nice.
The latest rumors were that they might be showing some footage of Agatha Darkhold Diaries. Still not crazy about the new title.
The name is a punch down. Coven of
Chaos.
Awesome. That show will always be Coven of Chaos.
Right.
There's the coolest name for anything.
There's also rumors that they might show some Captain America Brave New World footage.
Be nice.
I don't think this is going to happen.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know. I think it's a little dicey, especially with the strikes going on.
Sure.
You know, they pulled out of Comic-Con.
Right.
They didn't show anything. They didn't release anything. They didn't put out anything. I think they maybe put out a Loki trailer that weekend or the week of. I'm not 100% sure. But for them to show it, I mean, like, I don't even know how they would do it to be like, hey, people walking down the hallways like, hey, you want to see some footage or real fast? Just pop in here real fast. if you can't have like a full announcement and you don't want press around like Disney showing trailers during strikes or something like that.
But I think they can, as long as the actors aren't introducing them. Directors can promote and writers can promote, although nobody wants to see a writer.
No, absolutely not. Hideous. Hideous monsters.
Foul.
And like Feige's not going to show up. Now does
Feige not show up at these things anymore?
Well, no, at D23 last year he came hard.
Okay.
Last year was
three different baseball hats.
Yeah. Last year, they had the whole like Disney Plus or the studios panel, and it was a combination of Lucasfilm, 20th Century, and Marvel.
Right.
They kicked off with like 20th Century went first. They went through a lot of their stuff. They showed like Indiana Jones, blah 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 blah. Lucasfilm went first. And showed off a lot of that stuff. That was Indiana Jones and all that. And like some of the Star Wars stuff. They talked about Ahsoka, blah, 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 blah. And then Marvel kicked off. They kicked off with a live rendition of Rogers the Musical.
Oh.
Kind of like teasing that they were going to do it in the parks and stuff. Which they hadn't announced at the time, but everyone was like, just put it in the park. Which they did eventually. And then they had like they talked about Echo, they talked about Thunderbolts, they talked about Captain America Brave New World. They brought people up on stage for all of these things. They mentioned Fantastic Four. This was right after Shackman got announced as the director. He was not allowed on stage. He was sitting in the audience. He's like, he's right there. Feige was like, Shackman's right there. He's directing. Stand up, Shackman. Great, sit down. Moving on.
Wow.
And then they showed footage. Like they showed some stuff from Loki.
Okay.
They showed a little bit of Ironheart footage. It was jam-packed. They had a lot there. I don't know how you do that this year without Feige doing a whole panel.
Sure.
I don't know.
I mean, there's can be a Marvels thing, right? Like there's Marvels footage to show.
Yeah, they could show footage from the Marvels. But if they don't want to get into a dicey situation of talking about all the entertainment stuff, I don't know. Especially in a world where they've pushed back Echo.
Yeah.
And they still haven't announced when, like, What If season 2 or X-Men is coming out.
As a parks guy,
Here we go.
What are the parks announcements that get you excited?
Okay, these are the exciting things.
Yeah.
Disney parks around the world, right? They're doing lots of stuff. They're about to launch a Zootopia land in Shanghai. Disney.
Okay, attention furries.
They've started.
Attention
They've
furries.
put out some images from the new park. Looks cool. It's like basically you're in Zootopia.
Cool.
And I think they have like animatronics around of like the polar bear mayor dude. He's not the mayor. The little. Or yeah, he was the mayor.
Furries, don't fuck with the polar bear.
Please don't
robot.
fuck with it. They had the big fat cheetah thing, who's like the police. Works the front desk.
Is that the movie with the most rabid fan base that doesn't have a sequel?
Ooh, that's
it seems
a great
people are
question.
so crazy for that, and I've seen it. I
Sure.
like it. It's good, but it just seemed to be like
I don't know. Like the biggest things, Disney California Adventure has really leaned into like Coco.
Oh yeah, sure.
They has like a lot of representation in that park, especially with like the kind of Latin America Hispanic community in California. It's a big draw there. They've also they redesigned a whole area of the park that was known as the Pacific Wharf, which was mainly like dining areas. They turned it into San Francisco.
Oh right.
Which,
God, yeah, that's
which
another
is a nod to Big Hero 6,
Yeah,
which
sure.
is again has a rabid fan base. Does not have a sequel. It had like a series of shorts.
Yeah,
I believe on
maybe
Disney
had a
Plus.
Disney Plus show or a Disney Channel
Yeah.
show at some point. Anyway,
but like
no
not a
official
full-on
movie
sequel. But they totally redesigned that area, so now it's San Francisco,
Okay.
and they have Baymax you can meet there, and the kid, I forget his name's Hero, but you can meet them. Who wants to meet Hero? Who cares? We want to meet Baymax.
I don't know. Some people
want to meet Baymax.
There's hero heads out there.
We want to be Baymax.
I don't know who they are.
Big announcements they could make. Love to see an expansion in California, which is very tough for them to do.
Sure.
Disney World, of course, has so much land. Walt Disney, when he conceived the park in Anaheim, he loved it, and then he hated the fact that you could see the outside world from within
Right.
his park. He didn't like all the hotels that popped up and all that. So when he bought land in Florida, he purposely bought a ton of land and started right in the middle.
Okay.
They have
Oh,
so much
interesting.
space to expand. There's been talks about big expansions at Magic Kingdom, kind of like spilling out more, going into different lands. I mean, what I would like to see, something it's been talked about at different parks throughout time, is like a villains specific area.
God, how cool would that
Like
be?
some original designs for the
it's
the
like a
wharf at
little
California
universe
Adventure.
that all the villains
Yeah.
live in. That would rule.
The wharf, which is now Pixar Pier, was gonna originally be like a villains. There was drawings for like a villains themed
God,
pier.
why did they do that?
Which would be like a villains dedicated area would
Yeah.
be tight.
It would just be so full of goths. All the
so
time.
full of
It would
goths.
reek of clove cigarettes.
Oh yeah, they would bring back the smoking sections. at
Right,
Disney.
yes, only cloves, though.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like when you
My
go
Chemical
to
Romance could play there.
right, like Disneyland, my experiences there. It's so people, they wear their fandoms
Yes,
on their sleeve. You're the Marvel guys, the Star Wars people wearing their robes around, and then like just the like Nightmare Before Christmas people, they come hard, dude.
Boy, talk about a movie with a fandom that doesn't have a sequel.
Right, and it
That
doesn't
is-
need a sequel.
That movie
Yeah.
quadrupled its box office in T-shirts.
Yeah.
Sold last Halloween.
The Haunted Mansion in California is the only one that does the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay.
Yeah.
And they do it, it's already there. They do it from the first week of September till the end of December.
Okay.
So for most of the year,
Yeah,
it's like,
it's
it's Christmas,
Jack's
Nightmare Before
Pumpkin
Christmas
Party,
themed.
yeah.
And it's wild. And people, I mean, I was there last weekend. The standby line was 100 minutes to go through it.
Insane.
Crazy stuff. So rabid fan base.
You could get
And
your
then-
Jack
and then-
Skellington tattoos
Right.
in line.
But then you have like the Haunted Mansion purists who are like, we hate the overlay.
Oh.
Bring back the regular Haunted Mansion.
I love these micro
Oh,
conflicts
I mean,
within
it's
fandoms.
crazy. It's crazy in the parks. But everyone knows the best ride is Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Don't at me. The best ride in the park. Come on. And Disneyland Paris has a great Thunder Mountain Railroad. You go under. It's the main bulk of the ride is in the middle of a lake. You go under the lake, and then you're on the mountain.
Is it supposed to be
Right.
like? Is it their version of America, or is
Yeah,
it
it's
some
their
other-
Frontierland,
Okay.
and it's really funny because they have like, there's Fort Wilderness, which is like kind of the big fort that Frontierland is based around. And when you go, the one at Disneyland Paris, they have like kind of a walkthrough museum of like, this is what it was like in the Old West. And I was like, this is rough. This is a little whitewashed and a little rough. A little strange. And you're like, ugh, this feels a little problematic.
I mean, we're having trouble with it in our country.
Sure,
I can't imagine they're getting it right somewhere else.
It's like the Disney-fied version of it.
Sure.
All that stuff. I think any big overlays would be fun to hear about. I would love to hear about like an e-ticket expansion at the Avengers campus in Disneyland, where there's always been talks about putting in a roller coaster.
Sure.
They kind of released last year the idea that they're going to do a ride based on like the multiverse and like Thanos, and like it's kind of like a roller coaster type ride. I don't know if they'll ever get around to doing it.
Yeah, I know. I feel like you see a little concept art every now and then.
Right. They're always dripping concept art.
Yeah.
Over the years, there's been incredible concept art. I mean, when they released Dick Tracy, not to talk about Dick Tracy.
Oh, sure.
I love Dick Tracy. They were going to build a whole land around Dick Tracy. That was supposed to be a huge new in Disney World.
Oh my God!
I think in MGM Studios at the time. Now it's Hollywood Studios or whatever they call it. They were going to build out a whole ass like land based around
like terrifying gangsters walking around with putty all over their faces,
fucking annihilating kids, shooting them in the street. But of course, they never made a sequel.
Meet Mumbles. Wow, I can meet Mumbles.
I can meet Mumbles? Oh, I can meet Big Lips? Oh, great.
Every kid's fantasy to meet Big Lips.
Come in on Big Lips.
Before we move on to our last big rumor, Dashiell and I wanted to point out this event that's happening on Sunday. We wanted to get your thoughts on this.
Oh, okay.
At 2:45, it says Down the Rabbit Hole, the Disney you didn't know.
Oh.
What do you think that is?
The Disney you didn't know.
And also, 3:45, a fantastic finale. Fantastic Four announcement?
Oh, no, absolutely.
No, it's a salute to the fans. It's probably going to be,
Yeah, it's like
Fantastic Four finale.
It's just a big paper shredder you can throw money into. Is what it is. You guys like doing this already, don't you?
Hey, you can throw your debit cards in there too. I don't care.
Down the rabbit hole. Things you didn't know about Disney. I think it'll be revealed that Walt had peepholes in most of the women's restrooms.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what'll be revealed.
All sorts of dark secrets.
Dark
we're going to get a look at Walt's journals. And, he had some takes. The man had some takes.
There are two snacks that are not sold in Disneyland, and this was because of Walt. Do you know what they are?
Oh, great. Okay.
Two
I think I know one of them.
Disneyland.
I think I know one of them is gum.
Gum, correct.
Because he didn't want gum on the ground.
Yes, he did not want gum on the ground. He would not sell gum in the park. Do you know what the other one is?
Oh boy, it's like.
It's an old school snack. You can still buy it today, but probably not as like
ham with pineapple.
You're right. He hated ham with pineapple. No, I'm kidding.
I got that right.
It was peanuts because he didn't want peanut shells.
Oh wow, yeah.
Because
Walt was a weird guy.
Well, yeah, he's a perfectionist.
Yes,
he really liked it.
Yeah, it's like I feel like whenever I look at Disney parks discourse,
sure,
there's always somebody who's cranky that they're now selling alcohol.
Yeah,
because Walt didn't want that.
Right.
Like,
even though he was a big drinker.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Loved
I know.
Scotch
Didn't he have
and
a little private touch over something?
Yeah, if you watch Saving Mr. Banks, they get into it a little bit about kind of, Tom Hanks played Walt Disney in that movie.
Right.
They kind of talk about, he died of like cancer from smoking. Like,
sure.
He's a big smoker, but he never wanted to represent that. He's Uncle Walt. He doesn't want to show off what he would do. Yeah, I think that would be like a big reveal. That more alcohol in the parks. Well, they're slowly introducing more in Disneyland. They're going to offer more drinks. The only place you can drink right now in Disneyland is at Uga's Cantina, which is in like Galaxy's Edge, the Star Wars area. And it's like, you have to have a reservation to even get in. So people can't be in and out. But they're going to start selling more alcoholic drinks at the other sit-down restaurants like Blue Bayou, and I think the Carnation Cafe might start doing it too.
Grab a fireball shot before you get on the teacups.
Yeah, maybe. California Adventure has really expanded the amount of alcohol.
Yeah.
It used to be just like a little beer and wine. Now they got like seltzers all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
And even like the little like ice cream carts in the middle, you can buy drinks from there.
Oh, I haven't been to California Adventure in a while, so this is new
They've
to me.
really upped the alcohol there. Sure. And they go hard. But it's nothing like Universal. You go to Universal and it's like, who wants shots? Who wants shots? We're doing shots? Like, It's wild. You
You
go to
want
like
shots with Hello Kitty and Frankenstein? We got all kinds of weird IP here.
hey, come on, who wants to meet Homer and
Charlie Chaplin.
Johnny Chaplin doing shots together?
Wait, are we the Android guy again?
Maybe Johnny Android.
Johnny
I don't go to
Android.
Disney. Hey, I only do
I use an Android, and I like to
Yeah.
chug beers with a fake Marilyn Monroe.
I've never. The
love
last
Universal.
time I went to a Halloween Horror Nights, I've never seen so many drunk people
Oh yeah, people get
being
messed
chased
up.
with chainsaws.
Yeah,
People get messed up. At
yeah.
this
Universal is fun.
They go hard. They do go hard. Yeah, I mean the purists, fine. You could be that way, but nothing beats like an ice cold beer from Pim's Tasting Lab.
Yeah.
Watching the stunt show where mostly dead Marvel characters fight, which is so bizarre. Their main
They're in
stunt.
hell. They're fighting in
That's
hell.
what I think Avengers Campus is. I think it's
Oh,
like
it's-
hell.
that's the world between worlds.
Yes.
For Marvel
Yeah.
is the Avengers.
Their
Campus.
main stunt
I
show.
love this theory.
Their main stunt show is the Taskmaster and cronies attacking the Avengers Campus, and it's like Natasha and the Black Panther fighting them off.
Oh, boy.
I'm like, what is going on?
Bumming everybody out.
And they when Black Panther Wakanda Forever came out, they had like a Shuri walking around the park as the Black Panther.
gosh.
And I was like, this is like a little bizarre, right? Because the only way she could be the Black Panther is if he's dead.
I don't know.
It's very weird. And then one time during the stunt show, it was going on, and then like Shang-Chi was like walking around, and I was like, Shang-Chi, what are you doing?
Help him
There's an
out.
attack going on. Get up there, dude.
But I mean, that's superhero media in general.
Sure.
It's always like, help him out, Superman.
Come on, do something. Tony Stark is always in the
Where
park
is he? Oh,
as
yeah.
Iron Man. I mean, it's hell. It's all the dead characters stuck there.
It is interesting that you're like, oh, they have a big Taskmaster thing. It's like, because they have to create these characters and these rides
Right.
before you kind of know if something.
Right.
hits.
And Avengers Campus came out around leading up to Black Widow.
And
basically.
like Black Widow, I like a lot of stuff in Black Widow.
Sure.
I don't know that we all got Taskmaster fever from it.
No.
But
No.
it kind of reminds me of the fact that like there's still a Waterworld stunt show at Universal Studios.
And it slaps.
And it rules.
It's
so,
awesome.
something that doesn't work in a movie might work in a park.
Yeah, I do like that. Well, it's very interesting because the stunt show. One time when I was walking by, they didn't have Black Panther. They had Captain America in the Black Panther role, and I think this is when Rogers the Musical was really
Okay.
going on, so they're really pumping that up. But he was doing all the same things because there's this moment where Black Panther like drags his claws along the railing and it makes all these sparks, and it's
Right.
very cool. And Steve was there and he just does it with his shield, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. But it's also kind of weird. It's like,
Does
oh,
it? And why is he
Cap,
doing that?
Cap is now Black Panther. Like, this is very weird.
Sure.
Like, they're just stuck having this fight 3 times a day over and over again in hell. It's maddening.
Gosh.
Where's Doctor Strange? He's doing a show for kids. Use your magic here, buddy. Come on. They have to always have like the characters who fist fight too. They can't have anyone with powers.
Oh
doing
yeah,
anything.
just blast Taskmaster
Right.
into oblivion in
Yeah,
1
yeah.
second.
Yeah, that would be much better. That would make a lot more
Then
sense.
just Brie Larson lands, beams everybody, and
Yeah.
flies off.
When I do see Captain America in the park, I call her Carol, and she doesn't appreciate it.
Oh, really?
I go, "Hey, Carol." She's like, "This fucking guy again." I gotta stop serving alcohol here. Speaking of serving
This
alcohol,
guy was drunk before he got in here. This guy showed up drunk.
speaking of serving alcohol, check out NerdRiot.shop, where they don't sell alcohol, but they do sell Star Wars shirts.
Whoa.
We talked about these. Lovely.
Oh, that's handsome. I
Yeah,
haven't
this
seen that one
handsome.
yet.
Oh yeah, this is from our line of like sports themed Star Wars
cool.
shirts in honor of like the Ahsoka Tano show. And we got some more show focused shirts like this lovely Sabine red.
Oh, handsome.
Oh,
I haven't seen
I
that one either.
fucked up. I gave him the map. What are you doing, Sabine? Get your shit together.
Why'd we ever put you on a shirt?
Why did we ever put you on a shirt, Sabine? Get it right. We got this lovely one with like Ahsoka and Vader.
Ooh, nice.
They got ice cream on their lightsabers, and now it's melting off. But yeah, you can check out all these shirts. Maybe we still got some awesome old merch like this. This lovely line of Guardians album themed shirts, which I really like. You can check them all out at nerdright.shop. Support the network. Get some nice merch. Fall's here. Get a hoodie. I don't know. It's gonna be cold outside. Maybe the Earth's dying. I don't think it'll ever be cold again. I don't know.
We'll still need hoodies for another 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. When the Ravagers take over and
Yeah, you can trade hoodies
the
for
roaming
water.
the roaming bandits. You gotta
Yes.
cover your face. Give me all your gasoline. That's a great for the.
I don't think this character is going to take off like Johnny Android.
Johnny Android, he won't survive the apocalypse. If he doesn't have cell service, what is he going
That
to
guy
do?
will get eaten on day 2.
That's what people always talk about, like, what's your apocalypse plan? Mine is to die when the event happens, because I don't want to live beyond
had a good
it.
run.
I don't want to. People are going to smell awful.
Yeah, who needs to be out there on the
Pooping in
wasteland?
holes on the ground. I don't know. I want indoor plumbing. Kill me. Put me in Avengers Hell. That's where I'll live for the rest of my life. Drinking at Pim's tasting lab, watching Taskmaster and Natasha fight. Be great. It'll be great. Let's talk about some rumors before we wrap up the show today. We got lots of rumors this week coming in.
Would you say this is the most focused episode?
Most focused, most on task episode we've ever done. Thank you, Jordan, for being here for that.
Happy to do it.
We got some Deadpool 3 teases that it might be setting up Battle World, which makes a lot of sense.
It does.
Right?
It's kind of cool.
It's kind of the order of operations from Secret Wars to Battle World, right?
Right. Maybe I'm getting my Marvel Comics continuity messed up, and please roast me in the comments
Roast
if
him.
I'm getting this wrong. But isn't Battle World what they set up? Isn't that where the fighting takes place in Secret Wars?
Yes.
So is this kind of like the creation of it? How do we reconcile the fact that maybe this movie has Battle World, but there's a Secret Wars movie coming?
Right. And there's also the rumor that Secret Wars is going to get split into 2 parts.
Okay.
That'll be like a part 1 and part 2. I think, in my mind, right, if you've started this multiverse saga, you can't have it go on forever.
No.
Much like the comics learned after many years. So, like, we got to kind of annihilate all these other multiverses and just have one, and whoever gets in, that's who gets to live on.
Right.
Which I think makes a lot
And
of
if
sense.
we need
to do.
somebody else, you just open up a portal.
Yeah, you open it up. Oh, new multiverse.
there it is.
There
All right,
it
get
is.
in
There it
there.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Comics.
So the rumor with Battle World is that it'll be in Deadpool 3.
Okay.
And it'll be like a patchwork world made from the remnants of destroyed realities following the multiverse's collapse due to the incursions. Now, Deadpool 3 is going to happen before Secret Wars.
Right.
I don't know if like Deadpool 3 could set up Battle World, and then the events of Secret Wars, we all start showing up there. But like Kang Dynasty is supposed to happen first. I don't know if like Kang Dynasty gets us all to Battle World. I don't know the order of operations for the films to make this work.
Yeah, and and I think like we saw with Multiverse of Madness and WandaVision, sometimes you have to shoot one of these things before the other one.
Right, and
then
do reshoots, 4 rounds of reshoots to make it all work.
Continuity gets a little messed up. So hopefully this stuff can all happen in the order in which it was intended. But
we'll see.
Who knows?
We'll see. Another rumor is that Liev Schreiber is going to return.
Love him.
As Sabretooth.
Love it.
But not as like a cameo. Like he might be like a big character kind of going forward. Like they could fully bring him back, which I think makes sense.
That was, I thought that was great casting. And, obviously Wolverine Origins is a movie with many problems.
What?
But I know.
No.
But I think that, there's some cool parts of that movie, and he's definitely one of them. He's great in the role, and I think that it'd be fun to have him
It'd be
back.
good to give him another redemption arc. Right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think, sometimes you have, like we were talking about with Clooney, sometimes you have a great actor who's perfect for the role, but just the movie doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
And I think this is a case of that. I mean, obviously they kept Hugh Jackman around, and he made a lot of great Wolverine movies since then.
Turned out great.
Anyway.
And that was a Mick G movie, right? Wolverine Origins. Was that a Mick G movie?
I don't know.
He directed that one.
think
Maybe I'm
it
wrong.
was someone who went to movie jail after. I don't think it was McG, but maybe
Not
it
Ratner.
was.
Ratner was X-Men 3.
Ratner was 3.
Put him in
The
a
Last
movie.
Stand. Yeah, and
Wolverine
maybe regular
Origins.
jail too.
X-Men Origins Wolverine was directed by Gavin Hood.
Oh.
Our favorite.
My apologies to Mick G.
Yes.
Apologies.
And
later
Mr. Hood, of
directed
course.
Ender's Game.
Oh,
Ender's
interesting.
Game. Okay, so we got
Harrison
another
Ford.
shot.
Great.
Yeah.
We were talking about Secret Wars. There's a big rumor out there that Sam Raimi is kind of the top choice for Secret Wars.
Love it.
Now, I really think the Russos are going to wind up directing it.
You might be right. Yeah, it might be a thing where I think no secret that Marvel fandom is kind
Would
of
love to have them
fractured
back.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those were the glory days. So yeah,
But it
might
seems
be
like, they kind of want it out, right?
yeah.
I feel like they were overwhelmed with it.
we need to make spy shows for every streaming network
Yeah, they
that are
go-
all good.
They go make Collateral? Is that what it is?
No, I don't. I mean,
That show on Amazon with Mars.
It's not. Yeah, I think Collateral's
It's not
the Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx movie.
Right. But I thought
Love
the
a
show,
Collateral.
not Collateral.
It's got some generic
Citadel.
names.
Citadel. And it was a C. There's that, which is like a weird show that's like in different countries, and it's all the same story. I don't know. And then The Gray Man, which I was not a huge fan of.
I haven't seen The Gray Man.
There was things I liked about The Gray Man, things I didn't like about The Gray Man. That's based on like a novel that it seemed like they wanted to set up a whole series of movies there. I don't know what the future for The Gray Man
Gray men,
is.
gray women.
Who knows? But I think pulling them back to do a big tent pole.
People would flip. People would really freak
go
out.
crazy.
Yeah, and you know, maybe it would be great. Maybe it's kind of what Marvel needs is a little, you know, back to basics. Sam Raimi would be great.
I loved Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, all the little Raimi touches in that movie are so good. Anytime that he comes through with that personal style, it's so much fun. It's so funny. And, you know, maybe he is better suited to doing the more wacko, horror-focused ones. Maybe the big, you know, splashy crossover isn't for him. But, like, yeah, I think something that I want to see in Marvel is, like, you want to see those directors stamp on it, you know? Like, how exciting was it, that first Taika Waititi Thor movie?
Yeah.
You know, you're like, hey, this is like characters we
Yeah,
know.
it felt different.
But it's this cool flavor. It's really unique. And it does seem like, you know, there have been a lot of great Marvel things, you know, since Endgame, but, like, they felt a little samey.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it would be nice if to kind of, like, feel that director with a take again.
Yeah.
So.
They felt a little samey. We want them to feel a little Raimi. Sam Raimi.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. We got to get his brother some more roles, and we have to put more cameras on ATVs.
We got to see that Oldsmobile. We
got to see that car that he puts in everything.
driving around.
Yes, yeah. Ted Raimi.
Ted Raimi. Great for
perfect.
Ted Raimi.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for us today here on The Break Room. Make sure to subscribe to The Break Room channel on YouTube and give us a follow on Twitch where we do these videos live. We'll catch you next time. Have a great weekend. Late SKers. Goodbye.